This next
Hey YouTube! Pat turned off his game for me. He didn't have to, but it's nice. You might be wondering what happened. Apparently I'm not a big enough geek, and I forgot to charge the battery, thinking that the battery would be charged. Oh well. It's charged now. It took 120 minutes. So I was talking very explicitly about what happened when I was at the XK Ministry and afterwards when I was working in the XK Ministry. So I was talking about two 13 and a 14-year-old who, by the way, when I say they were in found bed together, they weren't actually having sex. They were just loving each other well, you know, they were on second base. So, maybe it would have advanced that far, I don't know. That's not for me to say. Whatever. I fought head over tail for them to get out of there. I thought, and I used it as an excuse to say they are being bullied, which is true, but get out. And I almost got removed because I had what's not allowed is you're not allowed to have personal conversations with the parents, and I did. I told them what had happened. They were outraged that no one told them. I explained that I had been trying to protect them, and this is the first opportunity I had to do anything about it, so I did. I should have just called the police, but anyway, that really upset me a lot. I left a week after they were pulled out by their parents. And I told everyone there they need to get out of there. Whereas because of drug and alcohol abuse, these people didn't know how to help you. They were, you're going to hell and you can't control yourself, so it's over for you. You know, you're going to be a delinquent all your life. Bull. Get them out. And I did tell the authorities. And after everything. And it was closed down about 4 months into the investigation. They found enough evidence, so it was really bad. And when I mean closed down, I don't mean they closed the XK Ministry. Oh, no. They got new leadership. How good that is, I don't know. I'm not going to say all Teen Challenge ministries are bad, because there are people who have gotten off their drug and alcohol abuse issues. I happen to think alcoholism also has genetics to it, so does taking drugs and not being able to stop when you want to. Drugs and alcohol are meant to do that to your body. They're designed to be addicting. So they've got that for them. But there are some people who really have a hard time suppressing it. I'm not going into all that. Suffice to say, there are good programs out there that aren't religious that help you just as much. The 12-step program, I think, is great. Back to what I was saying. I got out of there, but I had nowhere to go. I was broke. That was my bread and butter that I just got my job kicked out from under me. And I had to move back in with my parents. And I was pretty non-religious at that point. I hadn't gone to church in like 4 months, so that was a big deal. You're going to see a beautiful lady walk behind me right now. She's got to come over here and talk to the YouTube viewers. Bend down, Mom.
Hi.
This is my wonderful, not my biological mother, but she's the one who took me in when my mother wasn't there at the time. I love my mom.
I love you too.
Thank you. So that's who I'm living with right now, YouTube. And they're wonderful people. I'm so blessed. Back to what I was saying, I had to move in with my parents, and I had no money, no job. So I was depressed on top of depression, but fortunately I hadn't been going to church. Well, That's not an option. You go to church, and you go to the church. So I was right back in the church, being told that I was a sinner and going to hell, even though no one knew that I was gay. It's just that you're told you're a sinner and you're going to hell unless you're perfect, or you're constantly asking for forgiveness of your sins so you can be redeemed and not go to this burning pitch place. Whatever. So, it's not conducive to a healthy environment. I developed depression, and my dad thought getting a job, because that's what he's been taught, would help a lot. So, and it did a little bit. I got a job. Didn't take too long. I have a lot of skills that are basic. And it was a driving job for a company that delivers stuff. And I drive truck and van. And fortunately, these guys weren't Christian at all, but they were extreme homophobes. Oh my God. And heterosexual playboy in the bathroom, and a stack like that. And I don't know what to tell you. You know, I found a new place to put my toilet paper. My unused toilet paper. You sick people. On top of the magazines. Just because, not because it bothers me, but because you have to understand, naked women isn't really my thing. So, that's an understatement. I don't know how all gay guys feel, but no thank you. I'm sure you guys like it. You girls like it. Rock on. Do your thing. So, that was half hard. They weren't Christians, so I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to hide the fact that I wasn't very religious. And I only had to work for them for about a year and a half, and then I had enough money to get my own apartment with Patrick, who, and another guy, the unnamed, and we got an apartment together, 3-bedroom, you know, still heterosexual, and had a pretty good year, because I moved completely away from the church, dropped into full-blown atheism, and stayed away from my parents because they were pissed off. Your son is now going to hell. I was fed up with the church, fed up with asking God to forgive me my sins, fed up with thinking I was going to hell because of my own sexuality, which, by the way, even as an atheist, I did not come out. You might ask why, since I no longer believed in hell. Part of it is I think it was inground in me. And what I mean by that is indoctrination. Constant indoctrination. I went to 2 Christian schools and church 5 times a week. And for those of you who think I'm exaggerating, here's the list. Sunday morning twice for Sunday school. No, 3 times. Sunday school, then advanced Sunday school, then church, then Sunday night. Those you are counting. Then Wednesday night. If I didn't get those 3 in, I had to go Wednesday night. And then Saturday night for youth. Now, I know you're saying, oh, that's sick. Math wasn't my thing either. But I didn't have to go Wednesday night if I went to Sunday school. And I found a way to get out of Sunday school by going there for 5 minutes, signing my name in, and go hiding under the stairway. But, whatever. I didn't have to go to church anymore. I was an atheist. And I'm running out of time again. So we'll come back with part 4. I think it's 4. You don't count on my math skills. They just suck. Alright. Bye, YouTube. Where the button is. Here, button.